This is Kyle Madsen with your top stories on Sports 1140. The Sacramento Kings had a disappointing start to their 6-game road trip. It was a 114-95 loss to the Hornets in Charlotte. The Kings jumped out to a 13-point lead in the second quarter, but could not hold on for the victory. Buddy Hield led all scorers with 24 points while going 6 of 11 from beyond the arc. The Kings are off tonight. They travel to Detroit to take on the Pistons tomorrow. Elsewhere in the NBA, the Wizards overcame a 12-point fourth-quarter deficit to beat the Knicks 101-100 in London. The 76ers won their third game in a row with a 120-96 win over the Pacers. The Suns pushed the Raptors to the brink, but the Raptors won at 111-109 on a Pascal Siakam layup at the buzzer. The Nuggets trounced the Bulls 135-105, and the Thunder forced overtime against the Lakers, but Kyle Kuzma and Lonzo Ball took over in OT to lead LA to a 138-128 victory. It is 7:01. Time now for the International Sportsman's Expo, Thursday through Sunday at Cal Expo. Get tickets at sportsexpos.com.
Did you change your analogy in the middle of your read?
Yeah, I did.
Nice job. That was well done.
I've been to the brink. It's scary.
Have you?
Yeah.
It was dark. That's why, huh?
It was.
Jason is scared of the dark.
An all-time great Disney movie, Brink.
I'm unfamiliar.
There are people like 30 and younger that are just like, yeah, good reference.
Is that like Brink 182? Different. Dude, that was an absolute Kyle Madsen.
Yeah,
that was a dynamite joke.
I need to go outside and get some air.
It's dark out there.
I know. It's okay, Jason. You'll be fine in here.
Again, where's the sun? When does it come out?
It'll be here, Jason.
It's
It'll
7
be
o'clock.
Here. I understand. It'll be here soon. You'll be okay.
Certain?
The sun will come up.
Today?
Tomorrow.
No, it'll come up today, Kyle. Don't do that to Jason. We've had him. He's done a.
Jason's scared of the dark is top one bit.
Oh, for sure. Yes,
Not a bit.
Puffy jacking and scared of the dark. It's all very.
I have to go top shelf.
Very real. There you go.
A little nervous.
Damien and Jason in here, along with Kyle Madsen, Carmichael Dave off for the next week or so. Happy to host the drive with you. Thank you so much for being with us. We've got your opportunity to qualify for the Big Game Dream Party presented by Mel Rapton Honda coming up at 8:40. We've got tickets to professional bull riding. We'll give these to you right now. The toughest sport on dirt, professional bull riding at the Golden One Center on January 26th. You've also qualified to be in the Shark Tank during part of the show. That's going to need some context, because I'll pass on that. It's a Shark Tank. And why are there sharks at a bull riding event?
No, during the show, you have to go in and talk to like Mark Cuban and all the sharks, and you have to pitch an idea, and they buy it or they don't. It's a good time.
I can't even
and in the
no-sell
background,
the
there's
fact.
just bull riding.
I can't even no-sell the fact that I'm laughing because of these cameras are on. During our show, I would have turned the mic off and fallen silent and let that just marinate with people. But we've got these tickets for you right now. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. We'll talk Kings in about 15 minutes or so. We'll have your Petkus Brothers moment of the game as well. We've got our mailbag coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, 8:30 to be exact. Mike Triplett, he covers the New Orleans Saints for ESPN NFL Nation. He'll be with us at 8 o'clock as the New Orleans Saints will host the Los Angeles Rams. I emphasize host the Los Angeles Rams because the Saints and Rams have split their last 6 matchups, with the home team winning each of those games. Also worth pointing out that the Saints have won 7 straight home playoff games and are 6-0 in the postseason at home under Sean Payton and Drew Brees, the best such mark by a coach-quarterback duo in the Super Bowl era.
Yeah, I think Sean Payton's been interesting in this run so far. It's 1 week for them, but they're getting amped for what they hope to be a Super Bowl. He does the first presentation of, what, $200,000? Is that what he brought in?
$250, Jason.
$250 and
all ones.
Yeah, and just the display of you want this? Mm-hmm. Go and get it. That kind of thing. And then this week, he's telling all the fans there in New Orleans, we need you.
Yep.
Extra loud, 15 seconds right before the Rams snap the ball. Bring it. And it's interesting that he's, that is such like Bill Belichick would never do that. And I'm not saying it's wrong. You have different coaches, different philosophies. He's just got a unique way about him in this case.
He always has.
Mm-hmm.
That's always
gotta be who you are.
He's one of those guys that some people love and some people hate. I mean, he was mocking Minnesota last year. If you recall, before the Minnesota Miracle, he was mocking the skull chant. That bit him in the ass pretty badly.
That did.
But he's just one of those guys. He is about his players and nothing else.
Yeah.
And again, that some people love it, some people hate it. Saints beat the Rams 45-35 in Week 9. That was the Rams' first loss of the season. The Rams' last win at the Saints was in 2007.
Okay.
So just a couple of notes there on the NFC Championship. That game can go a lot of different directions. Man, what a pickup C.J. Anderson has been. My goodness, man. C.J. Anderson was he cut by the Broncos? He was cut and he was benched and cut by the Panthers. Signed by the Raiders long enough to get free gear, of which none of it he kept. And
then the Rams.
He's
and not only just
rushed for 149.9 yards per game since joining the Los Angeles Rams in Week 16. That includes the playoff game last week against the Dallas Cowboys, who, prior to last week's game, had a phenomenal run defense, and it was actually that run defense that got them past the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, and for the Rams, it was, okay, Todd Gurley's a little banged up. We just need another body. It turned into, hey, let's have another body let's have him in our game plan. I mean, he was a game plan, part of what they wanted to do against the Cowboys, and that's what the Cowboys do well. And they still had, I would say, the nerve to say, oh, no, we're going to run on you, and we're going to have two guys get 100 yards, and he's going to be one of them. And he was awesome.
I always thought it was, we had said all year, and we have evidence of this if you look at the Rams' losses. Gurley sets the table for Goff. Now Goff has his choice.
Yeah.
I got two guys to set the table for me. I'm going to confuse you with both of them, and all the while, I've got this play action that's going to work pretty well with my receivers, and you're just going to have to figure out a way to stop it.
Yeah. I'm anxious when we talk to Mike Triplett next hour just because it is the matchup number 2. Some similarities in the fact that it's back in New Orleans again, but Aqib Talib's playing this time. There's a few. C.J. Anderson's different. There's a few subtle things that are different, and I don't know if they're that subtle. Maybe they'll make a big difference in the game.
I feel like these are the Spider-Man memes. The Spider-Man meme where they're looking at each other.
Oh, right.
Because now you got C.J. Anderson is a very serious threat, and that's been established since he's joined the Los Angeles Rams. And then obviously you have Todd Gurley. We'll look on the other side.
Yeah.
With Kamara and Ingram. Okay, now you got Breeze and Goff, and now you've got defenses that at times have shown glimpses of being great. Last week, the Los Angeles Rams defense was phenomenal. The Saints have had their moments of great defense. Kyle?
I think the biggest difference with what you just said is Jared Goff is, breaking news, not Drew Brees. If the Saints running game isn't working and they're like, hey, Drew, you got to drop back 50 times and throw for 400 yards, they can do that. I don't think Jared Goff can do that.
He can't. And I think that's been proven.
Right.
But at least, in a small sample size this season, I think it's been proven when you take the running game away, Goff is going to struggle.
Right.
Which is what I thought was going to happen with the Dallas Cowboys, and it very much didn't. Like, the Cowboys could not stop C.J. Anderson, and when they started focusing on C.J. Anderson, Todd Gurley reminded them who one of the best running backs in the league is, and they couldn't stop him. And Goff was like, we've got this made. We're chilling.
He just runs that play action. He's set.
And that's it. But to go back to what you were saying, Kyle, the question is, will they be able to do that? Will the New Orleans Saints defense be able to shut down? Because now it's not Todd Gurley.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Rams' run game of Todd Gurley and C.J. Anderson.
Yeah, and much is being made of that because of how successful they were last week. And the last couple of weeks, Kamara and Ingram hasn't been as effective.
Yeah.
But don't sleep on that run game either. Like I wonder if the Saints will even say, yeah, we're comfortable going in a less possession kind of grind out game, and kind of like Kyle said too. Oh, if we have to. Oh, by the way, we have a Hall of Famer at QB that he can win it for us too. So the Saints have a couple of ways to really attack you.
You get down to the final few minutes and the final few possessions for each team. I want Drew Brees.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's okay, the Rams are going to have the ball here with a chance to go ahead, and then the Saints are going to have the ball with a chance to go. I'm going with Drew Brees the entire time.
Absolutely.
Every single time.
Yep.
And then, of course, and as Jason mentioned there, we're going to talk to Mike Triplett, ESPN. NFL Nation covers the New Orleans Saints. He'll be with us just about 50 minutes from now, top of the 8 o'clock hour. He will join us. Also at 8:40, we'll have your chance to qualify for the Big Game Dream Party with today's first key word. The New England Patriots, as everybody knows at this point, have won 8 straight conference championship. I'm sorry, they've been to 8 straight conference championship games. And the Kansas City Chiefs, who will host them, this is their first conference championship since the 1993 season. Fun fact, if you hate the Patriots, they've lost 3 straight conference championship games on the road. All of them were against Peyton Manning. We'll see if we can add Patrick Mahomes to that list when the Patriots visit Arrowhead this Sunday.
Yeah, and it's hard not to, to have a unique case for the conference championship games to have repeat games from the regular season. It's hard not to reference those, but I feel like football games, they take on their own life, and I think we could probably go into every divisional game, and when you say, oh, the Cowboys and Eagles played this way the first time. The second time it was this way. The Rams and Seahawks played this way the first time. The second, so to me, it's about game planning, adjustments, tweaks, who's in the lineup and who's out. Because we had both those first 2 meetings were shootouts. The first one won by the Patriots, and the other one won by the Saints. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's going to go that way again. Will weather be a factor a little bit at Arrow? It's supposed to be freezing, right? Just brutal temperatures.
Very, very cold. Yeah.
But I just don't know philosophy from each coach what their attack will be on the game plan side of things.
You mentioned the high-scoring games. The Saints beat the Rams. That was 45-35, and then the Patriots beat the Chiefs. This was Week 6, 43-40. I believe that was the first blemish on the then perfect record of the perfect quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. Forgotten in that game, perhaps. Everyone remembers the final score, 43-40. The Patriots led that game 24-9 at halftime. Patrick Mahomes in that first half, 14 of 23, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Second half, 9 of 13, 4 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill caught 3 of them. Chiefs tied the game on a 75-yard touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill with 3 minutes left in the game. Of course, that gave 3 minutes to Tom Brady and allowed him to have a 7-play, 65-yard game-winning drive that put them in position to kick what was ultimately that game-winning field goal. So the Patriots won that game 43-40. We're going to talk a lot more about the conference championship games as the day rolls along here. We're going to get back into your Sacramento Kings. They lose last night. That 3-game win streak ends in Charlotte. We'll discuss what went wrong as the drive continues here on Sports 1140.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Drive. I'm Cody Baylor from The Lowdown. If you want to give us a follow on social media, you can find myself at Cody Baylor. That's Cody with an I. Jason at JasonRoss1140. Damien at Damien Barling. And Chris at Sac_MCFC. Also, check us out on Facebook and search The Lowdown. Jason and Damien, back to you.
Walker trying to break down the defense, but a steal by De'Aaron Fox. If they credit it to him, that'll be his 15th straight game with a steal. Buddy Buckets transition 3. He's got another one. Timeout taken by Charlotte. 13 unanswered points. A 13-3 lead for Sacramento. And that'll be your Pectus Brothers moment of the game. Get the spectacular backyard you've always wanted.
As you heard the G-Man say there, that was your Pet Kiss Brothers moment of the game. Get the spectacular backyard you've always wanted with a beautiful Pet Kiss Brothers patio or sunroom. The best price, best value, guaranteed every day. Pet Kiss Brothers. Thanks, G-Man.
Yeah.
That's about where the good stuff ended for the Sacramento Kings last night. Great start to the game. Up after the first quarter, 25-20, and then proceeded to give up 45 points in the second quarter. The Kings' 3-game win streak snaps in Charlotte as they lose 114-95 to kick off this lengthy road trip that they're on.
In just the second half, Charlotte shot 37% and gained ground on the Kings.
That
shouldn't happen.
Not good.
Yeah, that's an indicator of the way the Kings played. And the Kings shot better than them in the second half, but it wasn't. I mean, that game was so winnable for the Kings, in my opinion. But they didn't deserve it. They didn't play well. They weren't sharp. They weren't their typical selves. Like, I think if you haven't seen the Kings play and you watched that game for the first one last night, I don't know. You'd kind of think, what are they about? What's the identity?
You're thinking you feel like you're looking at last year's.
Yeah.
It's just a basketball team playing basketball, and they're just not very good at it.
Yeah. And it wasn't
the identity wasn't there.
That's
yesterday.
it. And that's different than heart, hustle, passion. It was. hey, what do you do well? Offense, move the ball, sprint, get up and down the floor, wear other teams down. None of that was in play yesterday.
Have a quick reformatting of four-quarter territory brought to you by Fire Wings. Try one of their 21 delicious flavors of wings and their Nashville Fire Chicken Sandwich today. Firewings.com. Just wing it.
You are a professional.
Thank you.
Pros
I like
pro.
it. It is. Do you want your little crown that you guys wear?
No, that's only when a guest says good question.
Well, we can. I thought that was a good read. Do you have a good read
comment.
crown?
There's a strong read. No, we don't. Your validation is all I need in that respect.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you.
That's nice.
I don't say this often to you, but I do love you. I think you're tremendous
I know.
at this.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
I only act like I hate you.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Sacramento Kings fall to 23-22 again. Jason, you said this a few minutes ago. A winnable game to start the road trip. You start to build momentum.
Right.
You know, obviously the road has been an issue. As of late for the Sacramento Kings, they started out really strong on the road, particularly as compared to other teams in the NBA. But it seems to have it has fallen away just a little bit, and that's a bad start for a team that's got 10 more days on the road here.
Yeah, and, this was the first team they've played in, 4 games that didn't play the second night of a back-to-back, and that is a thing. I mean, the schedule, and Dave Yeager refers to that all the time. Now, tomorrow they're playing Detroit. Detroit does play tonight at home. They have that weird home and home. They have Miami and then the Kings tomorrow. So you're getting the Pistons again on the second night of a back-to-back. Big difference is Blake Griffin should be playing, and he didn't the last time. So take advantage of the schedule. Charlotte had the same amount of time off. They were returning home. And I felt two windows. Early on, I mean, it was very early in the game when they jumped out to a 15-3 lead. Felt the lead actually should have been larger. Mm-hmm. And then in the third quarter, there was about a 4-minute-plus stretch where Charlotte didn't score, and the Kings gained 5 points. And that's a stretch where the Kings could have not only gained on them, caught them, passed them. It wasn't happening yesterday.
You could sense it sometimes, and I'm sure Kings fans feel the same exact way. When you're watching a game, it's just not going to go in. And watching that is one of those games where, and we haven't had very many this year. We had an entire season's worth last year where it's like, I don't want to watch this. Mm-hmm. I understand I have to be professional and watch this. I don't want to watch this. Last night was one of the first times this year where I'm watching this game. I don't want to sit through this. They're playing. They're not snapping out of it. Whatever spirit left them after the first few minutes of that game, it never returned. And watching them give up 45 points in the second quarter was just okay.
Yeah.
Halftime is coming at the right time for them. There's the positive.
Right.
How do they come out in the third quarter? And we all saw how they came out in the third quarter, and it was just like, this isn't happening for them today.
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
I think Coach Yeager took a timeout like 2 minutes in. It's like, nope.
Yep.
Just gave up an easy basket. Offensive rebound. They kept giving up too many rebounds. There was some good ball movement. There was some great passing by Harry Giles in the second quarter, but his second run through wasn't as effective. Rebounding continued to be a problem. Charlotte's bench was amazing. Mm-hmm. I mean, I remember when they were here last week, and I thought, okay, they've got Kemba, who's a terrific player, but the roster's kind of nondescript.
Yeah.
But Tony Parker, I thought, was tremendous. He didn't play here. And Bridges and Aaron Gomez, the bench was really good for Charlotte.
That Miles Bridges dunk was nasty.
Oh, my gosh.
Holy crap. I think Charlotte might lead the league in guys who, when they check into the game, I go, oh, I didn't know he's still in the league.
Yeah. Agreed.
But the thing you're talking about on the road, this is a little bit of a issue as of late. They haven't won on the road in a month, so hasn't been a ton of games. But the last road win was at Dallas. I don't even recall that game.
Yeah, I don't recall that game at all. Kings' biggest lead was 13. I believe that was when it was 15-2. No, it wasn't 15-2. I thought it was 15-3 at one point. Yeah, the Hornets, their biggest lead was 21, and they wind up winning 114-95. Again, there's not much positive, negative to take away. Buddy Hield, 24 points. He had 6 3-pointers. Fifth game this season with 6+ 3-pointers. That is tied for the fourth most in the National Basketball Association. All right, we're going to step out. We'll come back. We'll get back to these conference championship games. We'll get back to the Super Bowl. You realize all 4 teams that are playing in conference championship games have won a Super Bowl. Who will be the first team that hasn't won a Super Bowl to get one? We'll discuss as the lowdown continues here on the drive, actually, on Sports 1140 KHTK.
This is Kyle Madsen with your top stories on Sports 1140. The Sacramento Kings had a disappointing start to their 6-game road trip. They lost to the Hornets 95 last night in Charlotte after jumping out to a 13-point lead early in the second quarter. Buddy Hield led all scorers with 24 points. He was 6 of 11 from beyond the arc. The rest of the Kings were just 5 of 22. Sacramento's off tonight as they travel to Detroit to take on the Pistons tomorrow. Elsewhere in the NBA yesterday, in London, the Wizards overcame a 12-point fourth-quarter deficit to top the Knicks 101-100. The 76ers were all over the Pacers to win their third in a row, 120-96. The Suns pushed the Raptors to the brink, but gave the Raptors a 111-109 win on Pascal Siakam's layup at the buzzer. The Nuggets were all over the Bulls, 135-105, and the Thunder forced overtime against the Lakers, but Kyle Kuzma and Lonzo Ball took over in OT to guide LA to a 138-128 victory. It's 7:31 time now for the International Sportsman's Expo, Thursday through Sunday at Cal Expo. Get tickets at sportsexpos.com.
Welcome back into the drive. I'm Damien Barling along with Jason Ross. Of course, you just heard Kyle Madsen there. Jason and I are in for Carmichael Dave here for the next week. I'm off to a bad start. I'm the opposite of the Sacramento Kings last night. Sacramento Kings fast start, and then died. I need some. I had a bad read. I gave Kyle the read crown a few minutes. I invented a read crown. Yeah. He didn't even want it. I'm struggling this morning. I don't know why. I'm a morning person. No, not that.
Oh.
I'm a morning. I just suck. That's all.
No, not at all. Finish strong. I'm feeling good. See some daylight out there now.
Oh, yeah. Now you got a little life in you. Now that the sun's coming out.
Yeah.
The Kansas City Chiefs are hoping they don't get a bad read this weekend. Playoff Andy Reid joke. Bang, bang.
The Kansas City Chiefs, along with the New England Patriots, the New Orleans Saints, and the Los Angeles Rams, have all won Super Bowls.
The Chiefs have won a Super Bowl.
Yes. What Super Bowl was that, Kyle?
They won Super Bowl IV.
How
I believe
about that?
Len Dawson was the MVP of that Super Bowl.
I was there.
Were you covering it for KHDK?
I was, yeah.
Were you the one who took the picture of Joe Namath with the girls? Was that you? Were you covering it?
If you see him no, there's another one I'm there where he's running off the field. Yep. I'm right behind him, trailing him. Yeah.
Okay.
You took the video.
Trying to get the interview.
He's going, I want to kiss you.
Oh, why does he? Oh, that seriously. Was it Susie? Who was that?
Yeah, it was Susie. Thanks, Joe.
Okay, Joe.
I
Bye
couldn't
now.
care less about the team struggling.
Oh, if Susie's a legend. If Susie just would have punched Joe Namath right there on the sideline.
I think everyone would have been cool with that.
I don't think there's such thing as a legendary, but she would have been that. Yeah. Whatever, she would have been in a different category for punching Joe Namath in that situation. There are 12 franchises, that have not won a Super Bowl. The Cincinnati Bengals, the Buffalo Bills, the Cleveland Browns, the Arizona Cardinals, the Los Angeles Chargers, the Falcons, Jaguars, Lions, Panthers, Texans, Titans, and the Vikings haven't won a Super Bowl?
Nope, they've never won one.
I think 4 times.
Was it the Ahmad Rashad-led Minnesota Vikings that kept going to the Super Bowl and losing?
I think it was even prior to him.
Yeah, I think it was like in the 70s with the Purple People Eaters.
Yeah, wasn't that Ahmad's team?
He might have been late 70s. I don't know.
I thought he was 80s.
Oh, was he?
Late 70s, 80s.
He looked exactly the same, so like
right,
it'd be impossible to tell.
Yeah.
He's looked the same since the 6th grade. Browns, Jaguars, Lions, and Texans have never even reached the Super Bowl. So as we look at, as we get ready for championship weekend this week, and we'll have our Super Bowl picks in the final hour, of course. We'll have our Friday mailbag coming up at 8:30. Top of the 8 o'clock hour, this will be fun. One of our favorite guests, Mike Triplett, ESPN NFL Nation. He covers the New Orleans Saints. He'll be with us to get us ready for the Saints game plan for the NFC Championship as well. Maybe we'll get his Super Bowl picks along the way also. But when you look at this lineup of teams that have never won a Super Bowl, is there a team on this list that you go, okay, you know what? They're not far off. They're close. We could see if we went 5 years with those teams that we just listed. And that's not a long turn. That's not a bad turnaround in the NFL because teams turn it around pretty quickly in the NFL.
Are the Browns the closest on this list?
I don't think so. Well, I don't think so.
They're close.
I have the Texans first. There was a path for them this year.
Are they changed? Okay, so they fired Bill O'Brien then in your
Right.
scenario.
Yes.
Okay, because Bill O'Brien's not
winning
a
a Super Bowl. Correct.
Okay.
It's so difficult with football because we've talked about this. That's why we do every year 4 and 4 out. It changes that rapidly, and what might look like, hey, there's no chance, or this team's going to be good for a long time. I mean, a team that hasn't is the Falcons. 2 years ago, they were there. They had a chance. Probably should have won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Didn't. Well, they'll be right there for years to
feel
come.
like it,
And
yeah.
it hasn't happened. The Chargers were probably the closest this year, but guarantees for them going forward. I mean, they're still going to have Rivers for a little bit, but it's so difficult to win the Super Bowl. It really is, and to change some of these franchises have been bad for a long time.
I feel like there's a lot of teams like the Texans, the Browns, the Chargers, the Jaguars, the Panthers, and the Falcons. Those are all teams that, like, if they make a splash in the draft or they nail their first-round draft pick or make a splash in free agency, you could see them going with the iteration of their team next year.
Yeah,
for
but
me.
I'll go a step. I'll take it in a different direction than what you guys are doing because you mentioned the Texans, Kyle. You mentioned the Chargers, Jason. I think those are the two most talented teams right now on the list of teams that we just named.
Sure.
Bill O'Brien is one of the worst coaches, I think, on this list.
Yeah.
Anthony Lynn very much is not. But for me, when I look at coaching makes a difference. Once you can win regular season games.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Houston. But can you win in the playoffs? Hi, Houston. I'm not sure that you can. I think of the coaches on this list. Anthony Lynn is near the top, and I think Mike Zimmer is near the top. And so that has me leaning towards the Minnesota Vikings. Of course, if I throw my support behind Mike Zimmer and the Minnesota Vikings, that means I have to throw it behind Kirk Cousins. And I'm not fully prepared to do that yet, though I love a lot of what the Minnesota Vikings have. I'm not prepared to say that Kirk Cousins is a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Kirk Cousins would have to beat above 500 teams in prime time to get there, and he's done neither of those things in his career.
Can we move the Super Bowl out? Because the Super Bowl starts at 3-6, a little too close to prime time.
Just a 10 a.m. kickoff
Yes.
against the sub 500 team, and I love the Vikings.
We'll have a nice Super Bowl brunch
Put them in London.
for Kirk Cousins.
Yes.
Nice Super Bowl brunch.
The other element, you were looking at coaches. So if I'm looking at another one, which I think is as big of a factor, take the best quarterbacks. So if you take the best quarterbacks, to me, on the short list, it's the Panthers, it's the Falcons, and it is the Chargers.
You're not nervous about Cam?
I'm just counting him being healthy. At the moment, he's not, but
Give me your list again. It's the Panthers.
Falcons and Chargers with the three best quarterbacks on that list right now. Now, is Josh Allen going to be a great quarterback in 3 years? And all of a sudden, hey, the Bills are a team of the future. Doesn't seem likely at this moment, but football changes that drastically. I think the other two candidates that are close would be Stafford and Cousins.
No Deshaun Watson?
He's probably close too, but the best, I think it's still Newton, Ryan, and Rivers at right this present moment.
Is there a more directionless team on this list of teams that have not gone to the Super Bowl than the Cincinnati Bengals?
Lions would be there, but probably the Bengals.
Well, the Lions, are you confident that Matt Stafford is the quarterback for the Detroit Lions for the bulk of his career?
Yeah. I mean, he's already been a good chunk, and I just don't think there's an upgrade. Unless, there are better quarterbacks than him, but how do you upgrade there?
No, I understand. So you're confident that he'll remain in Detroit?
Yes.
What about Andy Dalton in Cincinnati?
Not as, but again, where's the upgrade? How do you upgrade? And I think you can, but who is it?
I think that's where you start when you look at the quarterback. And like visually, can you go, hey, yeah, I can see this guy holding up a Super Bowl trophy. And Andy Dalton is not it.
Yeah.
I don't think Matthew Stafford's it.
Yeah,
I'm a big Matt Stafford guy, but this year was so bad.
Is that because of your striking resemblance to him when you were younger?
Yes.
Yes, you did have a shocking resemblance.
I did.
To Matt Stafford.
Very strange.
The Cardinals, you feel like they're just rebuilding. The Bengals feel like, just as we said a moment ago, completely directionless. The Titans are odd.
Mm-hmm.
They're there. They win enough, but I don't see it for them in the foreseeable future. I think it, and then the Panthers, that's an interesting one too. They're riding with Ron Rivera, who Ron Rivera is going to be the next coach. Well, I was going to say he was going to be the next coach like Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy wound up not getting a job, which I'm still surprised about. But I feel like Ron Rivera is going to be the next head coach who is fired and then gets a job right away.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was Adam Gase. Of all the coaches that were fired and just walked into another job, it was Adam Gase that did it, not Mike McCarthy or Marvin Lewis.
He stared him down
With
and got
that
long job.
oh my gosh. With the track record that those two coaches have, it was Adam freaking Gase who was fired by a team and walked into another head coaching position.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
But I was looking up something that shows how fluid this is. I went to, what year did I pick here? 2016 NFL standings. So not that long ago, just a couple seasons ago. Excuse me. The two teams that are in the
You all right over there? The sun's coming out. It's okay.
I'm supposed to be stronger when the sun's back.
You are.
The Rams were 4-12. The Saints were 7-9. They're both there right now. So if we're doing this, then
I'm calling foul.
Okay.
Jeff Fisher.
Okay.
I'm calling foul.
But at that moment too, we're also going. Case. I don't even remember who the Rams quarterback was.
I think that was it.
Might have been Case Keenum.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So teams change, coaches change.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to. And again, the Saints still had Drew Brees, still had Sean Payton, and they had won a Super Bowl. So we've seen that. It doesn't seem that odd to have them back here. But there was a couple years here where they haven't been that good.
Is that 2016 you said?
Yeah. And then I go to, okay, let's look at the AFC, and I go, well, familiar things. Patriots 14-2, and Kansas City 12-4. But different quarterback for Kansas City now. Same coach, and same coach quarterback combo, obviously, for New England.
Browns, Jaguars, Lions, and Texans have never even reached the Super Bowl. That was a great point Kyle made. Cleveland is there, but we're expecting more growth from Baker Mayfield, right? We're expecting, okay, he had a great, good. It was good or great rookie season.
Good.
He threw more touchdowns than any rookie ever.
Really?
Yeah.
In the amount of games that he played, he threw more than Cam Newton did his rookie year?
Yeah, I believe so.
But I still would say it was good.
Or maybe, I think Cam ran for 1,000 too, so that
Yes.
might be what I'm thinking of.
I would go with good. Not great.
So you're going good and Kyle's going great?
Thought he was really, really good.
Okay,
Can I
so we
go
got
really
good and really, really good.
Can I go really good, just below great, but above good?
Fine.
Yeah, you put a really on it.
That's fine.
That's
Yes.
fine. No,
Okay,
that's
fair.
fine.
Because he wasn't great. Great would be like, wow, that's a Pro Bowler.
I mean, he's the
But I
rookie of
think
the
he
year,
was
right?
Really good.
Yeah.
Rookie of the
Ahead
year.
of Saquon. Saquon Barkley was amazing.
Co-rookies of the year.
Ooh, there we go. Go with the cop-out. Nice.
Straddling the fence here on the drive. No hot takes this morning, man. No hot takes this morning. But the Browns got a lot. I mean, there's a lot of question marks for the Cleveland Browns headed in to next year when you look at this list of teams, and you've got Freddie Kitchens is going to be one of them. I know that he is kind of a holdover as the offensive coordinator, and he's a guy who's been around the franchise. And, of course, you've got Baker Mayfield. You're confident in Jarvis Landry and Myles Garrett and the group that you got there. You're going to have some more draft picks that you're going to put together this year and put out on the field. So, and then a weird division. The Ravens, who were very, very good, are undergoing some changes. Joe Flacco is going to be gone. They have a new general manager coming in for the very first time. You've got Harbaugh going into a lame duck year, and a growing sentiment that Harbaugh is just his time in Baltimore is running out. Another coach who may be fired and have another job, a day or two later if he chose to. And then you have the Steelers, who are constantly bickering with each other.
Yeah.
And it's everybody's fault except the guy that they're going to work out an extension for here pretty soon.
Right.
Everybody else's fault except for that guy.
Didn't John Harbaugh just get an extension from the Ravens?
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought they extended him.
Did they?
Maybe I dreamed that.
I think you dreamt it.
Okay.
Could you look that up?
I can.
It's an odd dream.
If you're dreaming,
Weirdest dream last night.
if you're dreaming about John Harbaugh's contract extensions, you need a couple of days off, buddy. You need to and if I missed it, then that's on me. But I didn't think that they did. I thought he was entering the final year next year. I had heard they
contract extension pending. They're in
well,
discussions
what is that?
to
Okay, so they're
extend.
So
Right.
pending and having discussions are different things. Pending means someone needs to sign the paper somewhere.
Right.
They're having discussions, which means this might not happen.
Okay.
So Kyle woke up in the middle of the dream.
Yeah. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Did Jim interrupt the dream about John Harbaugh's contract extension.
Jim was in another dream.
Yeah.
Okay.
With reckless
Leave it
abandonment.
alone. I just don't want to hear anymore. It's the drive with Kyle Madsen. Just don't even worry about us. We'll be here for the next week, and we'll all get through it together. Mike Triplett, ESPN NFL Nation, covers the New Orleans Saints. Will be with us at the top of the 8 o'clock hour. Our Friday mailbag. Friday mailbag, if you're not familiar, if you don't regularly join us, Monday through Friday, noon to 3 here on Sports 1140. 1, you should. 2, you should listen to us every single day, 3 hours a day, because we'll make much more sense if you hear every single thing we say. But every Friday, we do a mailbag segment in which we grab letters that have actually been addressed to Jason, like a letter with envelopes and
no
stamps.
email.
No.
I don't know what that is.
No emails, no text, none of that. Just an old school letter. We get Jason a letter opener, and we read those letters each and every single week, each and every single Friday.
Yeah.
I send mine in on parchment scrolls.
Yeah. We actually had a bird deliver one.
Yeah, that was mine.
last week. Oh, that was yours?
Yeah.
Oh, the parchment scroll. Of course.
Yes.
That's how they're delivered by the bird.
Exactly.
Well
You're
done,
welcome.
Kyle. I was wondering who did that. I should have known it was you.
Yeah.
Was that Matt
I'm
George's?
very old school.
Was that Matt George's bird?
No. Matt George was the bird.
Wow.
That.
Kyle writes in calligraphy. It's very nice.
Kyleography.
Okay. Are you like this every day?
Yeah.
This
Pretty
is my
much.
bit.
This is your deal,
It's
huh?
a running bit.
This is how we roll.
This is on and off air.
We'll make our picks. Yeah, I know that's true. We'll make our picks for the Patriots and the Chiefs and the Rams and the Saints coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, probably as we wrap up that mailbag segment. Again, Mike Triplett's going to join us. We've got your chance to be a part of the Big Game Dream Party presented by Mel Rapton Honda. Are you high-fiving the camera? Oh,
Air five.
Now the sun's coming out, so now you're starting to feel yourself a little bit.
Yeah. Literally.
My God.
Is this thing on? Here we go again.
You're dreaming about Jim Harbaugh too?
Yes. Can't help it.
Okay.
Seen those khakis?
It's time to plan your football playoff party treats. Start at your local Sprouts Farmers Market in Sprouts.com. If you want to save us, you can. Fire Wings Hotline. Try one of their delicious 21 flavors of wings today. Fire Wings, just wing it. 339-1140. 1-800-920-1140. Carl, please save us. What's going on, man?
Hey, you guys missed an important team that has not won a Super Bowl, and they're on this cusp. The LA Rams.
The Rams have never won a
Are you
Super Bowl?
counting
No,
it as
they've
the
never
LA?
won one in L.A.
Oh.
LA. Right.
He's not lying.
No,
But the Rams franchise has won a Super Bowl.
yeah, but they were in St. Louis, guys.
Yeah, why are you
Yeah,
being
like-
mad? Why are you mad at
I'm
Carl?
annoyed. I'm annoyed. No, that's annoying.
Carl
that's
raises-
such a weird technicality. The Rams as an organization have a Super Bowl.
Okay.
Do they
St.
not?
Louis Rams don't.
Huh? What you
The St. Louis Rams do. The LA Rams don't.
It's the same team, right?
stop? Hey,
No, it's not.
Carl.
Oh, okay.
Carl, I think you raise a valid point, Carl.
And they are on the cusp of winning a Super Bowl.
They've-
You guys missed that also.
We miss a lot of things.
Yeah, you're right, Carl. We're just not very good at this.
So every team has
They
a
are
game.
on the
See,
cusp. I mean,
you're
they're-
wrong. You're
Yeah.
all wrong.
Did the Cincinnati Royals win an NBA championship?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're good with that then.
Or Rochester Royals.
Rochester, excuse me.
Yeah.
Were we in Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Kansas City?
Mm-hmm.
Rochester.
Sacramento.
So Rochester did. So are we good?
Well,
Right?
No,
because the
obviously people
organization won it, so
Yes.
we're good, right, Kyle?
No, obviously people aren't gonna. But if you go to like the Kings like Wikipedia page, that's listed on their franchise championships.
yeah.
Why are you so mad at Carl? Carl was just trying to keep us on our toes.
Well, same with the Rams, though. He's right. Like the media guy, they're going to celebrate Kurt Warner and Marshall Faulk, their Super Bowl wins.
Yeah.
It's in their history.
Well, I think Carl did just fine.
Okay.
Well, we'll
He's
see.
right.
We
He's
got
right.
a
He's
jersey for
absolutely
Nate
right.
Tiny Archibald in the arena.
Yeah.
See, he's absolutely right that the Rams, while residing in Los Angeles, have never won a Super Bowl.
All right, well, then we have
that's
to-
an empirical fact.
We have to add another team then.
Is the Oilers did the
The
Oilers win a Super Bowl?
The Las Vegas Raiders, soon to be.
The
They-
Oilers
They're
have
not the
won
Las
one.
Vegas Raiders yet.
But they'll be on this list soon.
Well, that's next year.
Okay. Just trying to get ahead of the game. Carl's on it.
Well, what? Okay, well, slow down. We got like a year. We got 2 years before we got to talk about the Las Vegas Raiders never winning a Super Bowl.
Okay. I'm just
We
ready.
might have to talk about the
Ready for that show.
Santa Clara Raiders not
Might.
winning a Super Bowl
Yeah.
next year. Perhaps the London Raiders.
Yeah. Or the Oracle Park Raiders, wherever they're going to play.
Would they be the San Francisco Raiders?
Ooh, I don't think so.
Only if they become the Santa Clara 49ers.
That's legit. That's legit. I loved when the Super Bowl was in Santa Clara and all of these shows had to come back and say, "We are live in San Francisco." Like, no, you're not. You're actually really far from San Francisco.
Picture the Golden Gate Bridge. It's like, hey, man, I know in traffic right now, it would take you 2 hours to get from there to where you're actually sitting.
Trey Wingo's like, I refuse to say we're in San Francisco. I'm going to refer to this as the Bay Area the entire time we're here. I will
fair.
never say San Francisco, unless they were at the when they actually were in San Francisco. They did their show on the water right there. But
So that's the Bay Area. Where does the Bay Area end?
you know what's
Los
a better
Angeles.
question? Where does the Bay Area start?
Oh, okay.
You got people at, where are you from? Bay Area. Where? Walnut Creek. Oh,
See, I
Fairfield. Really?
See, I say I'm from the Bay Area,
Reno.
and I'm from Brentwood, which is further east than Walnut Creek.
Is there a bay in sight?
No,
It's in the area.
but hey, when you
But
lived
it's
in,
not. If
when you
it's
live
not
in,
within sight,
when you live in Phoenix, Arizona, and you go, yeah, I live in Brentwood. You're like, oh, where's that? Oh, it's in Northern California. It's east of the Bay Area. Like, it's just,
isn't the East Bay a thing?
yeah. And that's your Pleasantons and your Walnut Creeks.
But Santa Clara's not Bay Area, is it?
Yeah, it's South Bay.
Is a bay in sight?
Is there a West Bay? I've never heard of a.
Yeah, that's the Pacific Ocean.
There's a bay.
A Bay Bay?
Yeah.
Just found our rejoiner.
Oh, good Lord! Yeah, I don't know where I don't know. I feel like
it's a weird dynamic because I have friends who are from like San Francisco, and they're like, if you're not from Oakland or San Francisco, you're not from the Bay. Like, all right, but I spend a lot of time there, so I'm gonna adopt it.
I'm just waiting for people from Sacramento to start telling everyone they're from the Bay Area, because there's going to be so many people who work
Yeah.
in the Bay Area, living in Sacramento, that we're all just going to be from the Bay Area.
Eventually, it's gonna be the United States of the Bay Area.
I think that's probably it's actually the capital of California is just going to be changed to the Bay Area. It's not going to have a specific name. It's just, what's the capital of California, son? Oh, it's the Bay Area. Got it.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Right there in downtown Bay Area.
How about a texter asking us, do the Arlington Cowboys count?
Oh, that's a good one.
They don't have a
Really
Super Bowl.
good point. Yep.
Okay, so we're going there. So it's the New Jersey Giants then, right? And the New Jersey Jets?
Yeah, they don't have one.
Because that's in New Jersey.
Yeah.
You can see New York, so maybe that counts.
The New York area.
Right across the is it Turnpike? Yeah, the New Jersey Turnpike's right across the
If Marshall
street.
Falk and
Very long
Kurt
street.
Warner want to be at the LA Rams celebration for their championship, they're not turning them away.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
And they won a Super Bowl in St. Louis.
See what you did, Carl? Brentwood is more Stockton than Bay Area?
What?
Huh.
That doesn't feel accurate.
It's closer to, it's probably equidistant from Stockton to Oakland for me.
Any county that touches the San Francisco Bay is called the Bay Area. Like, it has to touch.
Has to touch the Bay.
Jerry Jones, Cowboys, 0. Jimmy Johnson, Cowboys, 3. That's solid.
an accurate statement.
That is.
That is. That absolutely is. All right. Hey, this is a solid point. The Browns are actually the Ravens.
Yes.
How awful is that to think that the Browns have never been to a Super Bowl, but a couple years after they moved,
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah.
we really blew this conversation to pieces. Thanks, Carl.
Yeah, we definitely did. But see, the Browns moved to Baltimore and became like an entirely different team, and then the Browns came back.
But they didn't. The Browns moved to Baltimore and were the Browns with the addition of Ray Lewis and a handful, and then they won the Super Bowl. That was the Browns team that moved to Baltimore.
But they completely like changed their franchise and stuff. And
No,
then
I
the
don't think
Browns
that they
came back,
did.
so like the histories are
the
messed up.
histories are a disaster, yes,
Yeah.
but the Ravens team that won
yeah,
the Super
that's
Bowl
a very
was the Browns.
odd, right? That's a very odd scenario.
Scenario.
Yeah.
So finish this sentence for me. Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. What's the?
Scenario.
Okay. All right. Mike Triplett of ESPN NFL Nation. He covers the New Orleans Saints. We'll talk to him next.